What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the MulletCast, the podcast where business and pleasure collide. My name is Evan Balmer.
What's going on? It's Mike Mercia.
What's happening, Mike? Today we are joined by Sasha Buerano. Sasha is the owner of SB Financial, an Allstate insurance agency in Brick, New Jersey. Check them out online at allstate.com/Sasha Buerano. Facebook, SB Financial NJ, and Instagram, SB Financial NJ. What's going on, Sasha?
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Good morning.
No problem.
Excited to be here.
We are always excited to talk insurance, as I'm sure most people in your lives are, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's cool. So you come from a long line of insurance professionals, correct?
Yeah. I grew up in the industry. My dad still has an agency to this day. So it's been like 30 years or so.
Right.
My sister's in the industry, her husband's, my cousin, aunts, uncles, like literally everyone in my family. Yeah. And me now.
That's cool.
Everyone in the same area?
No. Well, mostly in New Jersey, then I have some in New York as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
You guys are like the insurance mafia.
I know everyone always kind of says that. It's a very family-oriented sort of business. And you kind of just, it's very popular. You'll see it with different companies. Cousins start opening.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
yeah.
were you around your dad's office as a kid a lot?
So believe it or not, he actually still has his office in a house, and we had an apartment on top of it, and that's where we lived for the majority of my life.
Right.
It's still there.
Uh-huh.
So I literally lived in the same place where the office
That's wild.
was. Yeah. So I used to just, clients just saw me grow up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty
Doing
cool.
paperwork at a young age?
Yeah. Taking payments. Like, why am I giving my money to a 7-year-old? I literally grew up doing insurance.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
So did you have the insurance calling, or did you kind of venture out and then come back to it?
Yeah, so it's funny, after college, I think I kind of just was like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm just going to work for my dad for a few years. And then I took a hiatus for a year and taught abroad in Thailand.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
English. And then I came back and was like, Dad, I really love the business, but I want to venture out my own, know what it's like to work for someone else. And I, believe it or not, I actually ended up finding a job with a startup health tech company that does insurance.
So
There you go.
Was that Oscar? You were with Oscar
at
for a while?
Oscar
That's cool.
in New York City. So I did that for a few years, and then, realized put a lot of time. Like, wait a minute, I could just be doing this for myself, and that's kind of just how I kind of came back to Jersey. So it's been a while since I've been here. It's been now almost 2 years that I've been back in Jersey.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So your office has been open 2 years?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did your dad take that when you said you're coming back to Jersey and opening up your own spot?
I think he was excited.
He was excited?
Yeah.
Nice.
He was
So my
excited.
daughter's 12, and I constantly throw out you could work for me someday, and so she spends her whole life telling me she will never work for me or with me.
I feel like that's always kind of the thing. You kind of just rebel and I'm
Right.
not going to do this,
Yeah.
and then you realize hey, this might not actually be that bad, and it
Right.
doesn't always work out that way for everyone, but it did for me. So
That's cool.
yeah.
So is Oscar? Are they sort of a tech approach to insurance? Is it all online, or what was Oscar's kind of differentiator?
Yeah, so for Oscar, they their whole thing was, we started this company because, not because we love health insurance, quite the opposite, actually.
Right.
That was an ad that really got my attention because that's not something you normally see,
Right.
a company admit. We started this because we don't actually like this industry and we want to change it. So it was kind of bringing a sense of blending technology with a very, very human experience. I work on the sales side, so, we talk people through. You didn't have to go through a huge phone tree to talk to someone, and we knew the plans inside and out.
Right.
So, that's kind of what their approach was. And that was at a time where, Obamacare was coming in. It was very confusing,
Right.
that whole time. It's still confusing, I guess, to some people.
Totally.
So.
It's true. So were you able to apply anything from that experience to when you opened your own office?
Totally.
Yeah.
The nice thing about when I came to Oscar was that I was, I think, employee 35 or something. So
wow.
now they're over maybe 700. I don't know anymore. so we literally had to build everything out. So it kind of gave me a really great perspective of what it's like to build a company from the ground up. Whereas I came from a company like my dad, represents, that's been around for like 100 years.
Right.
And so you have that respect and like, wow, this is how long it takes to get to that point. So then when I came back to Jersey to open my own agency, it was like, wow, I have all this experience on both ends, and I respect both of them, and now I can make it my own. So, yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome. How's the growth been in the 2 years?
It's been good. It's definitely a struggle of finding the balance, finding a new circle of influence, because everyone in my family already does insurance. So it's like, great, who am I going to insure now?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally.
It's true.
That's like the layup, right? You sign your parents up for some auto and home.
No, but it's a good challenge, and it's great to go out and push yourself to to meet other people. Yeah.
So of course you went right to the same company your dad worked for all those years, right? When you decided to open.
Actually, no. No, actually went to a competitor,
Right.
but he has a State Farm. I have an Allstate,
Right.
but different models. And he was actually very, obviously very supportive of me. People always ask me like, how Thanksgiving dinner? It's like, it's really not that bad, guys.
Yeah. Do you ever, go to him for something that you can't cover?
Yeah, I mean, if there's something that I can't do,
Yeah.
I would always, be able to say like, hey, if there's something I can't do, give it a shot. Or,
Yeah.
What's nice now being part of like the tip group too, we have, someone else in the group that is a person to go to as well, just in case.
Absolutely.
So it's
So
always
your
nice.
your wheelhouse is auto, home, life insurance.
Yeah,
is that
yeah, we do
the base?
retirement as well,
Oh, okay.
which is nice.
That's cool.
But people know us for like the auto and home insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is it when you open your own Allstate office? Is it like a franchise basically, or what's it like, kind of getting in with one of those companies?
Yeah, it's kind of like a franchise. I guess it's like one of the easier ways to put it. We don't really pay any like royalties or anything like
Right.
that. I am independent of the company, and
Okay.
like my employees they work for me, not for Allstate.
Gotcha.
But I have a setup where I agree to only sell
Mm-hmm.
Allstate and any of their affiliates.
Right.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
So you have to go through a training program with them.
yeah. Obviously you have to get licensed. I've been licensed since I was 18, so for me I was like, okay, I already have that done. Check.
Right.
But you go out to Chicago, their headquarters, and for like 10 days or something, and then you come back here and you train. And then honestly, most of it though, you just are learning on the fly.
Yeah.
Right.
They could teach you all day, but you're not gonna come across every instance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you came back from New York, started your own office, and you're now in Asbury.
Yeah.
So was that the first direct move, or was that, are there multiple moves to lead you to Asbury?
So I actually stayed with my sister for a few months because, one, to save money because I was building out a new office. But two, I didn't know anything about this part of New Jersey because I'm from like Princeton area.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes, why don't you scope it out? I think Asbury's really good, but I was so set on Red Bank because that's the only place that I knew. She goes, you really, really need to check out Asbury. So after a few months, I saw a posting for a spot, and I said, I like this place.
Yeah.
And I went literally like the next day and, put in my deposit.
Right.
And I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's cool.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, you're in a prime spot.
I am in a prime
Right
spot.
off Cookman.
I love the downtown area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
And then, so being in Asbury, you do a lot of networking since you had to build those new spheres of influence.
Yeah, I mean, it was really great coming across the tip, It's just happenstance that the insurance spot was open. And for
Right.
me, that was huge because I wasn't even really trying. But I guess that's how a lot of things happen, right?
Yeah.
Is when you don't try as hard, like it kind of just
works
happens.
out.
It works out,
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
Right.
But for a while, I had been trying to start up a group, for similar things, for networking and passing business and whatnot. And it didn't really work out. So I kept going to chamber events and whatnot. So it just, I guess fate would have it, and found the tip and introduced MulletCast, and now here I am.
Sweet. Awesome. So are most of your clients from around your office area, or is it kind of people are from everywhere, do you find?
We have people from everywhere because I took over an existing book of business, I think most of the people are from the Ocean County, Monmouth area. So this is really my push to kind of go beyond that and to branch out. So it really, I think the best thing is networking and allowing people to realize that, most business we can do over the phone, we can do through email, you know what I mean? And, I'm very accessible. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Your first month with the group, I passed a renter and a home buyer, and both said it was, one, they're saving money from other companies that got quoted, and two, it was a really smooth process. So
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
That's a good thing.
They're really, really easy to work with. Those two guys, they were great. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. So you're very active out marketing and promoting yourself. Like, I like your Instagram. You're doing some takeovers this month.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've seen like some stuff you've done at other events. Like, where do those ideas come from for you?
I think for me, it's really whenever you work for a corporation, I think there's a lot of stuff that comes to you like, hey, here, use this template, use these posters, all these things.
Right.
And that's great and all, and the compliance that comes with that as well. But for me, I'm always trying to think outside the box and what is the next thing on the rise for me. Obviously, social media is huge. Podcasting, something like this is very different. But I looked, for the Instagram, I'm doing an Instagram takeover series. I kind of looked at my Instagram like, this is not okay. This is not how I usually operate. I'm revamping this.
Right.
And trying to think about it more, instead of just my business, I kind of really appreciate the fact of how difficult it is as a small business owner that you had to get your name out there. Why not be the person that I wish like I could encounter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of helping other people promote their business in whatever small way, and it's fun and it's non-invasive, and just say like, hey, here's another platform for you to put the word out there about what you do, and I want to get to know you better. And by doing that, it also kind of forces me to meet other people as well.
Yeah.
Because part of the takeover, I do ask all the featured guests to tag someone they would like to see.
Right.
That maybe I don't know. So, for example, Liz at Red Bank Red, she tagged Fine Health Kombucha. And so literally the next week I went to Fine Health. I've never had kombucha in my life.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went there and I got this awesome intro into what kombucha is, and I walked out with bags full of kombucha. This is great. And now now Sean's gonna do a takeover next week. So.
Where are they located?
They are in Neptune, I believe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny I had the best kombucha experience. I don't really know anything about kombucha. My wife bought some recently, so there's a big bottle in our fridge, and my dad is like the most plain eater, drinker. Like, everything is really straightforward. Like, food can't touch each other, like no seasonings, no sauces, nothing, right? Like, everything plain. So, but he's also like a monster snacker. Like, he's constantly like rooting through the fridge, looking around the cabinets. And it was my son's birthday party. So he's over like looking at the cookies, all this stuff. So I see him go to the fridge and he grabs this bottle. He's like looking at this big thing of kombucha, and I know he has no idea what it is. He pours himself a glass of the thing, and he almost just like spit it everywhere. Like, it was fantastic. And then I see him pouring it out. Like, just had to let that one go,
That's so funny.
But I knew it was going to be trouble, so it's fun. So what'd you learn about kombucha?
There were so many things to learn. It's like a fermented tea, I believe, is the most simple way to put it. But it's really quite an operation that they have going on in Neptune, because they're like these giant, I think they usually use them for wine, like these giant wine canisters and whatnot, and they let it sit. I'm probably totally botching this entire description. I apologize. But it's really, I think the main takeaway is that kombucha is really, really great for your it's like probiotic health. It's like good gut feeling health. And on the flip side of that too, it's actually really, really good with cocktails. So
Nice.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
There we go.
That's cool. So they're going to be on your Instagram soon?
Yeah, coming soon.
So you're doing that every week?
Yeah, so that's the goal. I mean, I just started in 2 weeks ago maybe.
Right.
So it's really just trying to find out and schedule. I'm realizing that people are, needing more time to think about what they're going to post about. So
Yeah.
I started making like I have a format for you to kind of follow along.
That's cool.
And I realized there's a lot of time that takes, and people are working and whatnot. So typically I'd like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Right.
have a new guest. So, and every month is like a different theme. So January was health and wellness.
That's cool.
February is, passion month. So like whatever you're passionate about. And so on and so forth. So that's the goal.
The MulletCast is interested.
Yeah, let's do it.
I was gonna say no one's tagged me, man. You know?
No. Yeah, no. I need to.
We're
reach
the most
out
interesting
more.
people around.
That's right.
I need to reach out more to.
We were passionate about hairstyles.
No, I definitely want to feature more people. It's just a matter of like lining them up, and I'll definitely get you guys on. Would love to.
Yeah, totally.
Love to.
All right, speaking of mullets, what do you got?
My infamous. All right, so insurance, right? We got that down. What do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun?
He's spared you. He usually throws out like, let's talk about the back of your mullet.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
my favorite line ever.
I haven't used it in a while.
What do I do for fun? I like going to Topgolf. Topgolf is also fun.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have ever been.
I
to
have
Been
not.
there.
Topgolf.
It's cool.
Yeah, I've
It's a good
heard.
time.
Yeah, I feel, and you don't even have to be that great at golf to go.
That's cool.
But it's just like a great time.
Yeah.
Because it could be freezing or it could be super hot, and there's like a bar, people wait on you, and it's just
Right.
like a nice ambiance. And you could bring family if you really wanted to. I'm a big fan of Top. I come from like a pretty big golf family, so
Okay.
that's
Right.
like always a fun outing. You can bring, like, my sister has 3 kids, and bring them along.
Nice.
That's cool.
Or like meet up with friends or colleagues and whatnot. So it's always a good time. So that's something I like to do. I like traveling a lot
Yeah.
as well.
So when we walked in here right before we started, you were geeking out, and you had the Captain America shield, and I see you got
Oh my God.
a Punisher shaker.
Yeah.
So what
a-
about that?
I'm a nerd.
Are you a nerd at heart? You came as Hermione, right?
Oh my God.
At the Halloween party.
How embarrassing was that? Like the first time I show up, it's at a Halloween party, and
Right.
I'm like literally geeked out as.
Everyone was
Harry
though.
Potter. No, I know.
Yeah.
But
You didn't show up.
Nah, I was geeking out at home. I had like a kid commitment, but you said you love all things nerd
I
and
do.
sharing it
I
with
really
your
do.
nieces and nephews.
I do. I'm really. I was telling you earlier. I never really read the comics. I'll be honest. But I am a huge fan of like everything Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Like I love that world.
Right.
I just connect to it. I usually go to Comic-Con every year in the city.
Nice.
I have cosplayed, if you're gonna ask me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like sharing that with my nieces and nephew. My nephew's now 6, so he's starting to get into Harry Potter.
Okay.
He started reading the books this week. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's good.
Ming goes to every Comic-Con across the country.
I know it's
Like
awesome.
literally.
I walked in here and I'm like geeking out inside. I'm like this.
Do you have the Stan Lee picture up? The one that you posted on Instagram?
Might be in the
Not
other,
in the other room.
studio.
Yeah. Oh, there's a picture of Stan Lee right there with Ming.
So how'd you get into that world? What was like your entry in? You remember?
I think it's just, I'm very close with my cousins, and there's like a core 6 of us, and we were always really into X-Men when we were kids.
Right.
Awesome.
And I was telling
I love
Ming,
Wolverine. Yeah.
I was telling Ming when we were younger, I used to kind of follow along the lines of my two guy cousins, and they always collected these X-Men cards. And then we each kind of claimed our own character whenever
Right.
we watched the show. And I think it was Rogue or something.
Rogue, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I was Rogue, which is pretty badass,
Right.
Yeah. she
Um,
drains people's powers.
yeah. So I guess that kind of just evolved since then. I was just been interested in it, and then the people that I kind of gravitated towards were just more of the creative people that they kind of just were nerds and geeks and But I always just think that there's something pretty amazing about the creativity that comes behind these stories. So
Right.
Absolutely.
for me, I don't know. I just am drawn to it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think Wolverine's gonna get pulled into the MCU?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
The more I see, the Endgame, conspiracy theories, everyone's saying that Wolverine's gonna have a cameo.
Nice. Nice.
which would be huge. But
Yeah. So I was telling May, I have no idea. I'm not good at the theories, but I will say that when I walked in here, I was telling Ming, I'm like, wow. Well, this puts because I have a little nerd room that I'm starting. Like this puts my nerd room to shame.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
What do you got in your room?
So I think I told you guys before, I was Wonder Woman last year, I think
Right.
no, 2 years ago for Halloween. So I have like the Wonder Woman shield
Nice.
and what's her God Killer? The God Killer sword.
Nice.
Yeah, as well in there. And then I just have like a bunch of art that I've gotten from Comic-Con from different artists, like the travel posters, but they're travel posters for different scenes from like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. Like really, really nerd.
That's awesome.
but it's like it's classy looking. It looks nice.
Yeah,
you
That's
know,
cool.
it looks good.
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I do.
You do? Okay, I had to ask.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, like,
Yeah.
falls in that same realm.
I know. I need to rewatch like all the seasons though before the final season comes
Right.
out. Because I feel like it's been so long. You know,
Yeah.
'cause there's such a long gap between them. And I started reading the books, but they were a little. Have you guys read the books?
No.
You
Listen to
rewatched?
audio.
I haven't jumped on yet. Nah.
What?
I keep
thinking
telling
of-
you
Come
to.
on,
Thinking of
you're
rushing
so good.
in to
Yeah,
get
you
up to
gotta-
speed.
You gotta jump on that
Yeah.
that bandwagon.
April 14th.
So I got like 4 months
Yeah.
to just power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it
It's binge.
for sure.
Yeah, it's a good binge.
Yeah, totally. So do you have
Yeah.
anything you got your eyes on to acquire for your room?
Gosh, I don't think
Any
there's like.
must-have items?
I don't think that there's like enough space. Honestly, it would be really, really cool to get a legit katana. I just think like come on, just can I borrow that? Put it in my. Put it
I
in
know,
my.
the Hanzos are dope.
Yeah,
I love
like-
it. Totally.
I don't really know. Nothing comes to mind at the
Yeah.
moment, but I just as I see things, it'd be cool to be able to display it all. I just don't think I have enough room at this point. so.
Right. That's cool. I got
Yeah.
my eyes on. I'm looking for a Kiss pinball machine. So if you hear anything,
Really?
The
yeah,
pinball
let me know.
machine?
Yeah, a Kiss one.
That's
A
awesome.
Kiss one.
Yeah.
Do they? Have you been to the arcade in Asbury? Like
Yes,
on the
they do
boardwalk?
have it.
They
yeah.
have one.
It's not a very exciting play, but it's like it's Kiss, so it's cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
they do have it there. I love that place.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
So I've been on this trend with my 3.5-year-old getting Marvel Legos.
Oh my
Right?
God.
And it's kind of like, like he needs help putting them together. He can't play with them because, we have a 1-year-old, so the parts can't be laying around.
Right.
I have a blast, though, making them. So we have, like, multiple sets. I got a Jon Snow one, thanks to Ming. And, they're on my desk, but every time I'm by a Lego store or someplace that has Legos, I'm looking at options so I could build a new one. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
I mean, it's so much fun. It takes an hour. He gets into it. I'm like, this is awesome. I did this my entire life.
Right.
And it's all characters that I love.
That's amazing.
yeah.
He's really doing it for his son, though.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all for him.
That's it's totally all for him. So when you're done, you keep them on display. You don't like take them down.
Yeah, like they're at a point on the dresser that he can't reach.
Yeah, actually,
No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
They're really meant for him, right?
They are. But, so we're gonna. The plan is to put a
he
shelf.
figured out his wife won't yell at him for playing Legos anymore if he involves his son. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's my guilty pleasure.
That's sweet.
I remember that I told you I taught abroad in Thailand for a year. So I came home for one of my cousin's weddings. I was like, you know what? I have so much time when I'm not teaching. I don't remember ever putting together a legit like Lego set. So when I came back, I'm like, I'm gonna find a pretty epic Lego set to put together. In my eyes, it was epic. So
Yeah.
I found Helm's Deep
Okay.
from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I literally hand carried it back to Thailand.
That's awesome.
And I think I put it together in a few weeks because there's just, I don't know, 5,000 pieces or something
Right.
ridiculous. So yesterday I was cleaning out my nerd room and I saw it.
I love it.
And it just, like, I didn't properly, like, take it apart,
Yeah.
to transport it back.
Right.
And so now it's all in pieces. I got to sort it all out.
Take a
so.
Sunday.
Yeah, take a
good.
Sunday. I should just come over.
Yeah, honestly,
and like
yeah.
and be like, this is for your son.
Yeah.
Totally.
Legos are great. They're the best.
That is
Yeah.
funny. So do you
Yeah.
speak Thai?
I don't.
No.
I don't.
Did you pick up any Thai like cooking tips over there or anything?
You know what's funny is I actually am probably. I feel like sometimes I'm like the worst type of Asian because I don't eat anything like Filipinos don't eat really spicy food.
Right.
Thailand all spicy. So it was really, really difficult for me to enjoy the food as much as everyone else there. So I kind of would just take like the easier way out of getting something that's pretty bland. No, I think the greatest takeaway from Thailand was more of like the thought of having gone, which was nice, and taking the risk of actually just dropping everything and going.
Right.
And so that I think that has propelled me forward in everything that I do, which is
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend that did the same thing. He was in Hong Kong right after college, and it was like it's still one of his greatest experiences ever. Like it was funny, like some of the stories what he did teaching English there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you regret it later because it's like, I should have done that at some point. Live abroad for a year or something.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Yeah, I feel like if you ever have a chance to do it, I would definitely do it.
Right.
Because then, that was exactly my thought. I never wanted to like live my life thinking, oh, like, what if I went?
Right.
Now I could just say, I've gone.
Yeah.
Now I can say that I've gone.
That's very
Whether
cool.
it was like good or bad, it was an experience.
Would you do it again somewhere else?
Would I do it again somewhere else? Maybe.
Well, it's hard.
It's hard
A year's
now.
hard.
A
but
year's hard.
A small period of time.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd do it again in Thailand, but maybe in Europe or like anywhere in Southeast Asia, because I did 6 months studying in the Philippines, done a year in Thailand teaching. So I feel like I have Asia.
You're good on that. Yeah.
Good. Like maybe like Europe,
Okay.
Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand. Walk the walk to Mordor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I actually this is
You might have
bad.
struck a chord.
Yeah.
I actually have been to where they filmed The Shire. Like
Really?
yeah.
That's all It's all New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle Earth.
Middle
I
Earth.
think I was there in 2010. I found out my parents were going. I'm like, you are going to New Zealand. You know how much I love this is bad. Like, you know how much I love the Lord of the Rings. Like, can I come along with? And so I was able to go along with them. And at the time, it was pretty cool because they actually started replanting and rebuilding everything for the filming of The Hobbit, which was not happening till like 2-3 years later. So it was just a cool perspective. Like, wow, this is how much time and effort goes into like, building out a set. So that was a really surreal experience. I would go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I heard New Zealand's awesome.
It was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
So what you brought these in? What do we got here?
Yeah, just
I waited till we were live to open them up.
So I actually noticed, like you mentioned, creativity you learned from like comics and things like that. You're very creative also because these are very nice. I've never seen the MulletCast written so fancily.
Yeah.
And fine calligraphy.
I cannot write that well.
It was like one of the weird. I don't know. It's not like true calligraphy, but it's just one of the goals I have this year is to learn how to write calligraphy, writing calligraphy. I don't know. I feel like it just makes everything look nicer.
Yeah, I mean these are very nicely put together.
Just a nice. Yeah, go ahead.
And you enjoy event planning as well.
The same. I do.
So what kind of? How do you use your skills? What do you like to do?
It's kind of like nerdy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Liquid power.
That is killer.
This is sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike was secretly hoping for an Allstate mug, but liquid power is pretty sweet.
I could get you one of those too.
Sweet.
I'll hold you to that. No, this is a huge mug.
That is cool.
I just think that they're pretty. When I saw them, I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect.
Like
that is like the
superhero
good size.
It's like superhero, but I just thought it was pretty unique. So
that's like my first first thing I look at is like how much it holds, because I drink coffee like nonstop, so that's about the right size to get started.
Right? I know so we have like a little Keurig at the office, and it's like filling up like a 10 ounce. I'm gonna go right through that.
Yeah.
Right. Totally.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
No, this is big.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just thought it was kind of cool. And you were asking about event planning.
Yeah, what kind of stuff do you enjoy doing and using your creative skills?
Really anything. It's just something that I kind of grew up doing. Like my mom usually she was very organized and knows a lot of people, and she would always just help anyone with whatever. My parents were always very involved in the community,
right.
And I kind of was just dragged along with it. But like I loved it, and I didn't realize that event planning was a thing. Like I didn't realize it. I was just like, but this is what we always do.
Yeah.
Like we always just organize events. So I think really just like it could be anything. So when I worked at Oscar, I used to organize like team outings for for the sales team
Right.
and for the company. So we did like a sailing regatta that was like really cool.
Oh, wow.
To like just going out bowling or having an outing at like a laser tag or something like that,
Right.
and just kind of organizing stuff like that. But now for my office, I do some fun stuff, or have customer appreciation events, or pretty much trying to think outside the box.
Right.
I did a Cinco de Mayo fiesta like in my office, and
That's
I got
cool.
like an ice
That's
cream
awesome.
truck to come and park outside my office.
Oh,
We were
really?
just handing out like ice cream for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
is
so
cool.
different things like that.
Nice. You got any events on the horizon?
Still brewing, trying to think of how we can incorporate other businesses as well, because I think that's one thing that I realized that I enjoy.
Right.
Is it's just more fun. So I did do something last year for a customer appreciation event where I did invite other businesses to kind of set up little tables, and they could sell stuff they wanted to, and they were able to, and it was great. We had a great showing. I mean, for the middle of the day in an insurance agency, I think we had maybe 85 people.
That's a lot.
That's
cool.
a
Yeah.
lot of
That is,
people
right.
in like only like a 3 to 4 hour period, and I was pretty happy about that.
That's good. Yeah.
No, that's a good showing.
That's a good showing
Yeah.
for like
So do you get a lot of traffic through the doors, or is it mostly a lot of the business just over the phone?
We do get traffic through the doors, which another reason why I moved my location. So it was in a house before. Now it's in a strip plaza. It
Okay.
has
That's
a
cool.
post office and like a deli and a pizzeria
That's
and
pretty
a bunch
good.
of other places.
Yeah.
So
Come on, honey. I hear
Yeah.
there's Cinco de Mayo over at that Allstate office.
Taco stand. That sounds
They had
awesome.
an ice cream truck there last week. Something's got to be going on.
yes, I mean, I am lucky because there is a lot of foot traffic just
Yeah.
from like the post office and the deli.
Right.
Like, before I moved in there, they were like, yeah, it brings 300 to 400 people a day. Now, do all those people come down to see me? No, but it's good exposure.
Sure.
As
Yeah.
opposed to
That's cool.
where it was before. So I do get walk-in traffic. It'd be always great to get more.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
a lot of our businesses, over the phone and online, but
That's
people
cool.
do walk in. Yeah.
So if people need to reach you for a quote for insurance, should they go to the Allstate site, or what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, give us a call.
All
Shoot me
right,
an
so check out allstate.com/Sasha Buerano. I'll spell it out, SASHABUERANO. On Facebook at SB Financial NJ. Instagram, the takeover's going on at SB Financial NJ. Should people follow your personal Instagram, or you try to keep that separate from the
You
business?
can.
Sweet, true
Yeah.
mullet answer. What's your personal Instagram?
At the Sasha Maria.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The Sasha Maria. All right, Sasha, thanks for coming in. We
Thanks so much
appreciate
for
having
having
Thank you so
you.
much.
Yeah,
was
thanks,
awesome.
guys.
Thank you for the liquid power.
I love it.
Appreciate it. I'm going to put
No
that to good
problem.
use today.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Fire up some Death Wish coffee here in the studio. Once again, I'm Evan Balmer.
You gonna say your Instagram handle?
Jeez, man, I guess. Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Evan Balmer.
Mike Mercia, you can follow me at mortgageguy_Mike. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sasha.
Thanks, guys.
So I think we gotta get a picture this time with the swords.
Yes.